Welcome back to the Back End Podcast. This time I'm doing the intro because the other two are fucking shit.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I don't care.
It was
Sorry.
confident.
Anyway,
Yeah, Premier League football.
Yeah,
Let's
where
talk
do I
about
go
it.
from
We've been
here?
talking about everything else besides Premier
Yeah.
League football. So,
what a big weekend. I'm looking at predictions right now. We had a very good weekend for ourselves. The whole
yeah,
EPL
very
week-
eventful.
Yeah, it was. The whole EPL weekend was actually fucked. I watched no games due to the long weekend here. I was out. Jack, I know, was away, so he didn't watch any games either.
Yeah, it was hard for us. Yeah, we were all
And
three of us.
Patrick was in the middle of a club yelling because James Milner scored a penalty, and he was watching it while we were dancing. And I was trying to hold my mate back from the fight.
I was watching the game in the club, Jack.
He literally...
And Milner scored a goal, and I was like, I fucking remember when I hit the wall?
He actually ran up to me and cracked me
I actually respect you, Pat.
because James Milner scored.
As much as I hate Liverpool, and I respect you, in one podcast,
What are you checking?
I don't know, just some things happening. But
for today's podcast, Pat, I won't
can you hear that?
Yeah, it's him playing on the fucking table.
on touch table.
Yeah, it's when you're fucking moving the spoon.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's not. I can't even hear it.
I don't know. I
That's
thought
how
I was hearing
sensitive
something.
it
But
is.
anyways, yeah, I was watching the game in the middle of the club, and I wasn't actually watching the game because we were 1-0 up.
Yeah.
And then he showed me the score, and it was like 1-1. James was like, yeah, James Madison, fuck you, fuck Liverpool. And then
That's pretty.
I decided-
That's pretty dog. You know, I'd be pretty upset if someone come up to a club and did that to me. But,
yeah,
you know.
I was upset. And then I was like, shit. I got out of the mosh and out of the
Are
way.
you serious? You argue with him every
I'm
night,
taking
every
Pat's side
Tuesday
today.
night.
I'm taking Pat's
Wow.
side tonight.
Well,
Okay.
we were in the mosh, and I was like, shit. I got out of the way, and I put it on my phone, and I was watching it with the door girl. She was watching it with me because like there was no one coming in, so like she's like, I might as well just watch this with you. And then when we got the penalty, I was like losing it, and she was like, is this kid like, is he having a fucking stroke?
In the middle of that, Pat was actually sweating balls, like dripping
Yeah.
in sweat. So I could imagine him celebrating.
I sweat
That's all right.
easily in
He
clubs,
appreciates his club.
but I not only I was sweating about the game, I was sweating more because I was in a club. I always sweat when I'm out.
Yeah, so that was probably the only game. I did watch a little bit of Chelsea. I didn't watch a lot of the Chelsea game. I watched a little bit, and then the last 10 minutes of Wolves Man City because I had this weird ass feeling that something was going to happen.
And I just got to point out there, Tottenham and Everton again lost.
Yeah,
So I said last week that they weren't going to sack Pochettino, but I'm starting to slowly
see, I
change my
told you.
mind.
And did you see Champions League?
Yeah, I'm
You're
really
right.
I'm the
starting.
one that said they would get.
Yeah.
You're
Two
right.
both didn't agree.
Bayern Munich
I'm
smacked
really starting to change my mind and sort of see Pochettino getting sacked here. But I mean, I think Marco Silva's probably going to get sacked before him.
them. Yeah, he's in a bit of trouble at the moment.
yeah, a
but
lot
you
of
were
good
right,
games.
Jack,
A
with
lot of good
the
games.
Champions League game that Tottenham did get smacked by him, and they played shit as well. And then then they go
But yeah,
to the Premier League.
there was upsets,
also-
drama.
Then also, Pat also did say Real Madrid and Club Brugge would probably
Yeah.
a draw or a loss, and they were one stage Real Madrid probably should have not gained a point from it. But
Yeah, they should have lost that, I
that's it.
reckon.
There weren't really any other big upsets in the Champions League.
Nah, but-
Napoli drew to fucking Genk or Grom,
Yeah.
way.
which was a pretty upsetting. And
The Liverpool game was pretty eventful.
you know, Salzburg
Yeah.
came back and gave a bit of a fight for Liverpool. But that's probably not Liverpool's focus this year. Like, personally, me, they're
Yeah.
probably on the league, and we can see the results coming up. And the Barca-Inter game didn't seem too bad. Chelsea won, which was good. And Ajax beat Valencia.
I was watching something.
Nice.
I
said
was
they would
watching
too.
the True Geordies podcast kickoff, I think it was.
Jack Tavian.
And they were talking about, because this was after the Liverpool game and after City had lost 2-0. And they were already, talking about obviously title challenges and all
Yes,
that. But
Pat,
they were saying,
Pat,
but
before
they
you
were
continue-
saying,
before you continue, you bring up Liverpool. I will say,
I'm not bringing up
I
Liverpool.
will say that you've won the league. I will say it, and that's it.
Nah.
No more. No,
Nah,
but,
we haven't
Okay,
yet.
you've definitely won the league, Pat, because no one else is on your level. I'm just saying it now. Okay.
What?
You have another 30 games left, and I'll give you roughly about. You can have another when the game hits about 20 game mark. and I'll finally
I
let
just
you break
I
it.
just I just want to
But at
ask.
the moment, you've won the league and no one's beating you.
I just want to ask you guys, because they were talking about City's problems at the moment and why they're slipping up in games. And they said, is it an injury problem?
No.
Because they've got huge injuries out, or is it because they've won the league twice in a row by such not last season was a large margin, but they've won so many games, they feel more confident going into games that they slip up and they
What I think the problem is Pep is changing rotations every week.
yeah.
It's not this core 11. It's not the same 11. That's what's sort of bad about his position, but also good. But he plays the same 11 over. It doesn't keep it the same. You know, Liverpool's 11. It's pretty much the same every week.
And
You know, Chelsea's 11. It's pretty much done now. You know, they're cores. And
Going-
Man City's, they're not playing De Bruyne for a game. They're dropping Bernardo Silva. Sterling's not starting. You know, they played Cancelo at left back, which was really weird on the weekend.
yeah,
He
that's
can play there. He did cough up the ball
Yeah.
and cost them that first goal. But he can play at the left back. But I understand where you're coming from. And I
Yeah.
think that's more the fact that Pep, you know, with the talk of Gabriel Jesus not being happy about his role at the club, you know, the injuries that have come in, I think
Yeah.
that's him now worrying a little
well,
bit.
if you think about it,
He's
they've
trying-
got
he's trying to
they're
please
two. Well, if
everybody.
you think about it, their two big injuries is Laporte and De Bruyne.
Yeah.
Okay.
What happened to KDB? When did he
He's just got a bit of a like
he's
that's
not-
why he
not
missed
cool.
out last game. Bernardo Silva was out because of that tweet,
Yeah.
that racist tweet. Well, it wasn't racist; it was a joke, but he got banned.
Yeah.
So that's why he was was
I didn't
substituted
know
on.
that. Thanks, bro.
And also, yeah, like you said, Cancelo was playing left back, which is preferred to be a right back. And you've got Fernandinho, who's more of a midfielder, who he played in centre back.
But like, as you can see there, like there might be some injuries problems, but like he's rotating the squad. I guess maybe
he's moving players in different positions.
Maybe trying to find the best 11, but unfortunately is getting results, which you know people. You know, you had some ridiculous guys this week. You know, potentially put Spurs to smack Bayern to smack Spurs. I could have had Brighton a multi. Like these results very unkind and like not expected at all.
Yeah.
Even this season.
Yeah.
Even no matter like how shit Spurs been, and even on the weekend, no one predicted Brighton to win. I think
Especially
Brighton-
by 3-0.
I think I know. Yes, Marcus, you did, and we'll get to that later. But you know, I was looking at the betting odds. Brighton were 1-0 up, and Tottenham was still favourites.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there, and I said, they're going to get absolutely destroyed here. But you know, it's the Premier League, and once teams like Brighton get a goal in, they continue to score, and they've been playing decent football. Oh, someone's phone is ringing.
Was that yours?
No,
It wasn't mine, no.
maybe it was one outside. I don't know, but I definitely heard a phone ring.
Yeah.
But
so,
yeah, Brighton won 3-0, and not only that, they actually did dominate them. They had 17 chances to Tottenham's
Unfortunately,
8.
did Lloris get injured this
Yeah,
week?
Yeah,
he
he got injured with their first
Yeah,
goal.
I don't know
I think
about
it
it,
was.
but the injury didn't look bad.
He
from
fell
my
on it.
perspective. He
It
just,
looked very bad.
I saw it and it didn't look like overly
He
bad.
hyperextended his.
But
I think
that's
he
an
hyperextended it.
even bigger blow to Tottenham. Not
Yeah.
only that they're on a losing streak and
'Cause-
they can't find form, but now they've got their captain and
'Cause
their
they're-
most trusted.
Their backup keeper,
goalkeeper.
Gaza.
He's all right. He's decent.
Gazzaniga.
Gazzaniga, yeah, I didn't want to say it bad. Gazzaniga, he came on, he made errors. So you can see that's a big loss for them. But I just think,
But you even look
I
at
think Poch is in big trouble
Yeah.
all
you
round.
even look at their team.
United's in trouble. Newcastle and Everton.
You know, Dele Alli's not getting minutes. Sanchez, who was a phenomenal defender last season, played very good.
Yeah.
Not getting minutes. Them two. You know, I'm not too sure.
I know. I think if that Vertonghen and Ericsson rumor is true, that's a big thing to happen within the club. I don't think it's true, so I don't know what
like
their problem
17
is.
shots, 6. That's 8 and 3.
Yeah.
Not even one big chance created from both teams.
And can I just also say one more thing? Everyone's talking about how Leicester is having a good season, which they are. They're having a really good season. But everyone's been... Like, I just found out on Saturday or on Sunday, you know, with obviously all the games weren't played, but Crystal Palace were in the top 3 for, a couple hours of the weekend. You know what I mean? You've got even clubs like Crystal Palace, Burnley, West Ham sneaking into the top 4 every now and then for a couple hours during the weekends, and they're sneakily just going up the league table.
But they were one of them teams that everyone were on the edge about. Or me personally, you know, they have a good team. It's just if they were perfected or not. What happened with Zaha in the
Yeah.
season?
Yeah, especially with Crystal Palace with all the drama going
we
on.
all expected them Zaha.
But the
to
same as
leave.
Burnley, we said Sean Dyche would get sacked, and they're sitting 7th at the moment.
Yeah.
Like, they've had a pretty good start to the league. So
And
it-
Wolves are climbing up now because they
Yeah.
were really,
So
really
they
going
sit
bad.
11th.
But to be honest, the table between like 10 and 20, not 20, about 10 and 7 to 18 is 3 points. Man United could potentially get relegated next week. What's international break? Or is there
In the
games this
relegation zone, yeah.
it's international break next week, so
week? So we got no games on.
we don't. Unfortunately, it's shit time of the year. So Everton sit in relegation with Norwich and Watford at the moment. Southampton and Everton. Are
To be
equal
honest,
points.
out of the bottom three, though, I genuinely think Norwich don't deserve to be in the relegation because they've been playing some, bright football. I know
been
they've
playing
lost
good
6
football,
games.
Yeah, but you can't get smacked 5-1
but they've
to
conceded
Aston Villa.
21 goals in 8 games.
Yeah, I know. I just because they take the game on and I enjoy
I
it when a
understand that,
team
but
takes on a game.
if you concede 21 goals,
Yeah, I know. It's not good. Sheffield are doing well as well. If you think
like
about
Sheffield
it.
have only conceded 7 goals in 8 games.
Yeah, Sheffield are doing very well.
And one of
For a
those
team
goals,
that didn't spend
one
big
of
as
those
well.
goals against fucking you guys was bullshit anyway. So you take that away, 6 goals they've conceded.
You can't take away bullshit goals, mate, because a goal's a goal at the end
No,
of the day.
I know, but I'm just saying. So
Smack you silly, buddy.
shut the fuck up.
Wait, and Arsenal third.
Yeah, that's what I
Just
said.
out of nowhere.
But I feel like Arsenal are gonna plummet. It's just a waiting time. They haven't really had.
I said to you, and I still stand by it. As much as I don't like Arsenal, I don't like David Luiz. I think he's shit defender. I don't like their defense. Arsenal will be happy to get that top 4 finish this year,
Yeah.
and it's what
I mean,
they'll get.
If I was a fan of Arsenal, if I was in part of the club, a top 4 is obviously what they're aiming for, and I would be happy with that.
Newcastle United 1-0 at the start of the season, which was a controversy in that game. They bet Burnley 2-1, which I think was also another controversy. They got smacked by Liverpool. They drew to Tottenham, which this season is a below par team, and I think any team can beat them. Watford 2-0, wouldn't be happy with that. They won to Aston Villa, which they shouldn't have won. And then they drew to Man United, which pretty much they should have won that as well. And they little 1-0 to win to Bournemouth on the weekend. But the stats don't look that good. They
I understand,
they
but-
didn't- I think they will plummet and it will happen.
But you have to look at it like this. For them, it doesn't matter how they get the results. They know defensively they're poor. So if they get that 1-0 win, or they look scrappy and get a 2-1 win because Aubameyang saves them, they're happy with that because they're sitting third right now, Jack.
Yeah, but as a fan, you're not.
As a fan, you
fan
might
of
not be,
Arsenal,
but
you're not.
at the end of the year, when you look at the title race and you see Man City, they've already lost 2 games. Arsenal have only lost 1 game so far. You know what I mean?
Pat, call me stupid here, and I was speaking this about Marcus before, but not table-wise, but on the current past weeks, and as a Liverpool fan, you've played every top team, I think, except
No, we haven't.
for Man City. I think you played Arsenal.
No, we haven't. We've got next week. We've got United.
Yeah, but they're
No, next week,
They're not
the
top.
week-
They're not top 6. They're not top 6.
But if you think of the big
yeah,
6
I'm
of
saying
England,
but
Tottenham?
Currently, you're playing your top teams. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're playing him. I personally think right now in the league, this might be being a dumb statement, but I think Chelsea the second best team in the league currently. Not on points,
Well,
but
look.
on form and how they're producing. I think I'm not stupid enough.
If
to
we're
say it.
talking about on form, the top 6 would be Liverpool, City. This is not in no particular order. Liverpool, City, Chelsea, Leicester. You could put Arsenal in there.
but City is slipping, big time.
Yeah,
I'm saying their past 2 have been both.
but they're still a
losses.
top. They're still a top.
Oh, it's a one-rate horse now. I'm pretty confident Liverpool have to slip.
See, the
big
thing
time
is-
for them to lose.
See, the thing is,
But-
for me, I still don't think it's a one. I still think somehow it's going to be a tight race towards the end.
Only
I
way-
genuinely think it's going to be. We're going to, if we win the league or someone else wins the league, it's going to be separated by about 3 to 5 points. I still think that we haven't won it already. It's way too it's the 8th game. There's still another 30 games to be played.
I understand where you come from, but you look at this. In 2 weeks' time, after the international break, where am I? You have Manchester United
Yeah,
away.
at Old Trafford though.
Yeah.
And but
Yeah.
you can't say because they're on shit form and everything because
can't.
No.
no, but what
No.
it
I
doesn't matter if
understand
they're
where
on
you come
shit
from.
form because it's a derby. The fans are gonna hype them up. The players are gonna be hyped up. And when you're a player that's hyped up, you're on another
I
level.
don't think they can get hyped up. I think they're.
But the fans can.
Doesn't matter. We've seen what the fans can produce in games. There's nothing going on in Manchester United for both teams, for both clubs. They're lacking everything.
Look, I understand. Just hear me out. If you beat Manchester United at Old Trafford, right, you're 9 games unbeaten. Manchester City have to go play Crystal Palace away, a team that we've said been playing good. Just imagine.
And they beat City last season when they weren't even doing slip-ups.
Imagine if they get a 1-0 win against them or a 2-1 win, right? City then have 3 games lost. You've won 9 in a row. Haven't lost, haven't drawn. City, who are meant to be the favourites or the push.
They were the favourites
Yeah,
at
the
the beginning of the year.
contenders against you guys are 3 games behind you. Do you understand? And then the week after that you got Tottenham and Manchester City got Aston Villa. All right, Man City might beat Aston Villa, but you go beat Tottenham. So you've just knocked off Manchester United, Tottenham, Chelsea. You smacked Arsenal.
But that's if.
That's if. I know that's a big
So
if.
you still got a lot to go.
You do, but you guys look very good. And if you can keep this up,
Yeah.
Manchester City is still 2 games
basically what
behind.
I'm going off of is you guys are going off of obviously current form and all that kind of stuff and who we've played and who we haven't played. I'm going off of that there's still just 30 games left.
Yeah, I know.
And that that anything can change. And one injury could change. Imagine Van Dijk gets injured during the international break.
I understand
You know
that.
what I mean? And he's out for 2 months. But and that also reminds me, we have Alisson out, who was a huge influence in defence.
Yeah, exactly. But he comes back.
Yeah, and
Yeah, but you haven't
Adrian
had-
has been playing pretty well.
But you haven't had you haven't really played many teams that have had a huge attacking threat anyway.
Yeah, besides
Like,
Arsenal.
Once they get through Van Dijk, that's pretty much.
But besides Arsenal, the Arsenal have got a pretty good attack. Aubameyang, Pepe, and
I don't
Lacazette.
think Lacazette played against you.
Yeah, he started off on the bench, but he came on.
They got Aubameyang. Like in the title race right now, it's Liverpool, Man City, and then Chelsea. That's $61. That's
I think
that's
Leicester
the
will
difference.
finish fourth.
It's $2.60.
I think Leicester will
is
finish
two-
fourth. I
Leicester
don't think
is
Arsenal will finish top four.
$251.
I don't know. It's going to be hard to say. Like you said, Pat, there's a long way to go. So
I think the top 4 is definitely between Chelsea, Leicester, and Arsenal because City and Liverpool got the top 2
Yeah.
sorted.
You can get on Marco Silva, next manager to leave for $2. Poch is at 4. That's a little wild one.
it'd be Marco Silva or Poch because they've got to fix something.
And you know who's done very well as a manager so far? Steve Bruce.
for
You can
Newcastle.
get on Trent Alexander-Arnold for EPL Team of the Year, which is paying $1.83. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, he's already.
I think it's this. Yeah.
I think he's already gotten in both Man of the Month for right back
One
position.
thing I think was a really shock to me that Tammy Abraham didn't get in for Player of the Month this year.
He did. Oh,
He didn't.
no, as in like a single
Yeah.
play. He got in the team of the month.
Yeah, you got.
Yeah,
in
but
team
I'm
of the
saying
month.
like he didn't.
Who got
for
Player of the Month
Player
this month?
It hasn't been announced, but
Oh, hasn't been announced.
I was shocked. Like I don't know, like
Because he scored a lot of goals this
yeah,
month.
I think De Bruyne would have been like hands down probably
Well,
deserves it.
he's equal top goal scorer with Aguero, 8 goals in 8 games.
Yeah. And he scored all those goals
You know,
basically in the second month, basically.
And we were
really.
debating that we thought he wouldn't even be good.
Yeah.
You know, we were comparing him and Moise Keane, and Moise Keane is flopping at the moment.
Yeah.
I know it's going to take time to come progress.
Yeah.
But, you know,
But you know what? You could say that about every Arsenal player because right now they're just. I mean, not Arsenal player. Everton player.
But I'm saying strikers. I'm talking about strikers.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm not saying. But no, it's been an interesting, season. It's like how you've been talking about FIFA, how the top teams are at the bottom, and the
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
How
it's
they had
sort
that
of-
glitch.
it's sort of a bit like that, like you've got your three, your top three, your 4 in there, that's normal. But besides that, Tottenham at 9th and Man United at 12th, like 8 games in and 2 wins, 3 losses and 3 draws.
Yeah.
You wouldn't expect that from
Yeah, you don't.
Man United once we said they got the Harry Maguire.
Is it-
But onto that game, because we haven't really mentioned that.
Is it come to experience for Ollie? Because I seriously
No,
don't.
It can't be. You cannot tell me that Lampard can have one season with Derby and in a month make Chelsea fans believe and want to succeed. That's the problem. This is what I think happens with Manchester United. They don't. Man
you
United
reckon it's
fans
the players
don't
then?
want Ole. Man United fans don't have the expectation to wait. They've always been one of them clubs that will go through and win and win.
Yeah.
You know, they haven't had like a rebuilding phase for not long. You know, even though the past 3-4 years they've been terrible.
Do you reckon it's the players then? The players don't care about the club? Because if you think about it, a lot of their players are, you know, like stereotypical money-grabbing players.
I don't like any. As I said, like I despise that club worse than Liverpool at the moment, simply because of the fact that I don't like Rashford. Rashford's over his head. You know, he's had his first season when he kicked his couple goals in the back of the net. But
Fred, ever since he's been in, has done absolutely nothing.
you know, a lot of players like that, like 1 month, and they come there, they expect big things. They start for a year. You know, Matic just sitting there not doing much for him. Like the only two things that have come out like positive for them is McTominay and Daniel James.
Yep.
I think De Gea should have gone. I reckon
Do you reckon if they sold De Gea,
they should have sold him. I reckon they should have moved on.
and then they could have rebuilt maybe a bit of more of a
But
structure?
they've got nothing coming up. What like you tell me if you think about youth for most top clubs, theirs is the worst. Who in there like they've had what Rashford? I don't know where Martial come from. But
Martial came from AS Monaco. Was it AS Monaco?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
so,
think
Martial.
so they've had what Rashford. That's it. I don't think anyone else in that team. You know, they signed one.
Rashford and McTominay were the only players that were brought up.
You know, there's one Bissaka
And Andreas Pereira.
and they brought in Daniel James.
Yeah.
You know, these young guys, but they buy young talent. Like, you know, it's still going to take a while for these young guys. I know Wan-Bissaka has been playing right back in Crystal Palace in the Prem. And, you know, Daniel James is playing Championship with Swansea. But you just got to continue that. Man United, like, are underdone, and their club needs a whole revamp. They need an Adelaide Crows, or they need it now.
Yeah. So, if you look at all the games weekends, what were your top two most shocking
Manchester
scorelines?
United and Brighton. Surely good. Or maybe even Aston Villa 5-1 win over Norwich.
I would say the City game. I didn't expect City
And
to
City
lose.
as well. It is. I think this is the whole week of upsets.
Wolves and Newcastle would be the two upsets.
I see. The thing is,
see, Brighton and
Newcastle
Spurs,
at St James's Park is different. So I kind of, if I said to myself for that game, if Newcastle win, that's not surprising, considering the form United are in.
It is though.
No, it is still surprising. You know what
But
I
it's
mean?
not as surprising as Wolves game and the Brighton game.
No, I personally
Not as surprising as those.
But like you know, you think about it, most teams that lose and get spanked 7-1. You know, there's not like I don't understand as a football standpoint. You know, you go like I've played games and like anyone, we've all played games and we've been smashed. Like you know, 6-1 or 100 points of footy or whatever. You know, you think to yourself, like, even if you're in a competitive state, you do not want to get back to that. Like, that is probably the worst feeling. And, you know, Tottenham lost 7-2-1? 7-1?
7-2.
7-2. They lost by 5 goals. And they they played away against Brighton and managed to perform nothing. Like, them players must have no soul, no dedication to the wards Poch and Tottenham wearing the badge, and you do that. Doesn't matter. And I love everyone says, oh, Poch's a great manager. But I said, Poch has been able to get Tottenham from here to there. He hasn't been able to get them any further. He hasn't won nothing. You know, took them to a Champions League final, and at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. You know, Emery took Arsenal in his first season to the Europa League. Doesn't matter. They got spanked. You know what I mean? Emery wins that. He's had a very good, successful season with Arsenal. Everyone's loving him. So I really think Poch, Marco Silva, I reckon they're all going to go. But there's not many that managers out on the whim. You know? It's really hard to find a manager that fits your club. And one thing that I'm really happy for that Chelsea's found Lampard.
Yeah.
You know, I know you've got Stevie Gerrard. You letting him do his thing off season. It's a real tight like look.
I think we're giving Gerrard a bit more time.
You know, you don't look at it. You just know that they're looking at him. You know what I mean? You know, Liverpool have got eyes on him. Seeing what Chelsea have done with their youth and seeing Liverpool like we can do this. Because you know, your players are going to age. You know, Salah probably potentially moves next year. You know.
I think
happens.
in a year or two, Salah will be gone.
You know, potentially could lose Van Dijk if they, you know, this is really off the top. Or you could stay at that powerhouse and build from that. But off last season, not signing anyone, I don't think that's the route you guys are going to take. But I'm just really excited that Chelsea have decided to actually bring in the youth, bring the lone players in.
I'm bringing a manager you trust.
Not even. But I cannot sit here and say I trusted Lampard before the season started because I didn't. You didn't know what he was going to bring. And you see his relationship with the players. I am still a bit frustrated that he's sort of making it the three lions, the youth clubs on it. Doesn't want to play Pulisic, which is pissing me off.
Yeah.
But, Pedro's sort of seen his time, he's sort of realising that's the youth guy's time. But if they weren't performing and he continued playing him, I would like a thing. Like, we spoke
Yeah, but
about
Pulisic
Tammy
might need a
Abraham.
bit of
Who did we
time.
play before I roasted the shit out of Tammy Abraham? What game was it? It wasn't the Sheffield one.
The Liverpool one.
Yeah, it was the Liverpool one. Who scored in that one? That was that's when he missed the penalty. That's when he missed the penalty, yeah. Like, that moment, if he kept we've seen what he's done now, and he's second best striker currently in the Prem, top striker in the Prem at the moment. We've seen that he come and developed and continue. Like, Lukaku, when he had that moment against Bayern when he missed the penalty, flopped. He couldn't, got to his head, and he's fallen down ever since. Like Karius, when you had the Champions League final, he's flopped. Hasn't not gone up. Something that's like I crouch Lampard from assuming what he's doing behind the scenes is the fact that he can somehow manage to keep him motivated and wanting to continue to getting better, and knows that he's better than that, which is just huge by the part we don't see behind the scenes, which I think is great. But like for Man United and stuff like that, they've got the high expensive players that don't sit there, don't care about the clubs, haven't been in the club long enough to understand the values of the club. That's why I feel like they need a whole revamp, personally. Arsenal's getting ways with Emery. He's doing his job, as Marcus said. They're getting the 1-0 wins. Poch loved the club probably for about 3-4 years, but you can see 10 games and 2 goals in two games, and you scored 2. You don't. I
feel like when you look at Tottenham, you look at Chelsea, and they're more of a club, and you look at Liverpool, and they're more of a club, and then you look at Chelsea, they're more of a franchise. Like, the players don't sort of really care anymore, and even you can see that maybe with Pochettino, the belief is starting to go, and the fans, and that it's maybe starting to be more of like a
it
a
starts
franchise.
to hurt. You're a coach. Most people read and you hear stuff like you guys are coaches. I'm starting my first season coaching now. You guys are a bit younger and doing a different sport and have a lot of younger guys. You always hear them talking, blah, 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 hear parents talking. And if you heard people saying, fuck, these guys are shit coaches, I don't know what they're doing, you would not, you'd feel angry, but you'd also feel upset. I know this is Poch who makes, close to a couple million a year, and you sit there and you probably read all this shit online, because it's not that hard to pull out your phone and go on Twitter and just say, oh my God.
And just see the hate.
Yeah, and see the constant hate.
Yep.
It'd be hard. So that's why I feel sorry and I respect these managers because, they go through a shit ton. And same with the players. But the players have more, Poor Poch is probably putting the right teams on the table, doing everything he can.
But the players aren't just going out and performing.
And unfortunately, they should have sold Ericsson in the off-season. I know Toby Adderwood also wanted to leave.
Yep.
They didn't make anything. They brought in Dombele in, who's played good, but he hasn't played great. But I don't know. It's a bit tricky with Brighton and teams like that. It is a Prem. You don't expect to win every game. But if you went up against Brighton right now, Pat, as a Liverpool fan, you think you'd smack them 4-5-0. 5-1, 5-2.
Like what I was gonna say, you talk about Tottenham and United and City about dropping points and an upset, but you also got to give credit to the other teams where it's
100%.
due. Because they still have to go out there and play against world-class players.
What I appreciate more, and I find a lot more interesting and more respectful on my part of the table, is you beat Liverpool Liverpool big 3 or 0 or whoever you're playing against. Us. Brighton, for example, you beat them Spurs 3-0. You continue performing. Like Norwich, for example, something like they won the game, and all respect to them, they won that game, but they've pretty much dropped points since that game. Aston Villa have beaten teams like Everton. They smacked Norwich 5-1. Fucking smacked them.
Yeah.
That's what I'd cherish as a fan, is seeing the oncoming results from the teams that are on the mid-table. That's what I think's good about it. Everyone can say, we played Sheffield, they won 2. They'd probably be proud of that. But it's the oncoming results. Can we back it up next week? Can we continue performing and getting better results?
Well, let's talk about, because did you guys see the game against the City and Wolves game?
No, I honestly watched.
I was I was watching the Chelsea Southampton game, and we had just scored our third goal, and we looked so good. And I reckon by then, if I was correct, there was about 10 minutes left of.
Yeah. Well, I've just got the stats up here, and it was a standard City game where they dominate possession and they box in all the opposition into their own half, and they had their attempts, but like we've said many times, when you don't take your chances, you know, they only had 2 shots on target out of all their attempts, and Wolves had a few attempts. They had 7, and they had 2 on target as well, but they made those 2 count. And that's what made them win the game. And it was a counter-attacking... I think they played a very good counter-attacking style.
No, they did.
They played the 5 at the back. Traore started in right wing back. And then he took Cotrone off. And then he put Traore up front to give that extra bit of legs to help out.
Bernardo Silva did play.
Sorry?
Bernardo Silva did play.
Yeah, he got subbed on. So he didn't start.
But one thing I also want to mention, and that I give preps to Lampard, is that he saw the 3-4-3 to counter. You know, his scouts were doing well. He knew the change of thing, and that's why we smacked the Wolves.
Yeah.
Because we saw the change, and I'm just not... I can't say Pep's not a world-class manager.
No,
because he is.
He's probably the best.
But at the moment, he's not, is he? And
At the moment, he's just got a bit of...
One thing also that I wanted quickly...
But just quickly, look at the City team. Like, we talk about them rotating and stuff, and there is obviously some players in positions that they're not preferred in, but they still got a fucking world-class team they're playing. You know, Edison, Cancelo, Fernandinho, Otamendi, Walker, Gundogan, Rodrigo, David Silva, Mahrez, Sterling, and Aguero. They're all world-class players, and any of those players would make any starting 11 around the world. So, I mean...
Well, 100%. No, you're exactly right. They still have the best side, and Pep's still probably, for me, the best manager in the world.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I watched the last 10 minutes of it, and it was just, like you said, Wolves counter-attacking football.
Yeah.
What I love about City, though, and I always will, is attacking-wise, besides that game, but they are usually very deadly. And you watch them go up in numbers.
Yeah.
And they didn't just do it against Wolves because Wolves were sitting back. They do it all the time. You watch their fullbacks go up. You watch them go up in numbers. And it is a scary thing to see. Because if they get that ball to Aguero in the penalty spot, or Sterling has a crack, or, you know, KDB looks up and finds someone, they will score a goal. So, it's unfortunate they didn't get the win. I don't know what made me change it to the game in the last 10 minutes. Chelsea were 3-1 up, and I just felt, I was like, you know what, it's still 0-0. Last 10 minutes, as soon as I switched it, I saw Cancelo go up with the ball, lost it, 1-0. I was like, fuck. I was like, this is going to be big. And then 2-0 happened. So, they were similar counter-attacks. They were the exact same.
I think we have to appreciate, you know, the Wolves wingers. You know, they've had a terrible start of the season. You know, the 3-4-3 hasn't worked for them much at all.
Yep.
Comes up strong against City. They can't play counter-attacking football. That's one thing I feel like City can't.
Because they push everyone up.
And I'm really dumb.
But no one can play counter-attacking football when you push everyone up.
Yeah, but, like, you know, you'd expect a team like City to, like, score and win that game. You'd expect them to score.
Yeah,
one thing, but, like,
if
also,
you go
I
up
didn't see the 2 goals. I'm assuming Pat might have seen the 2 goals, or you saw it. But I'm also starting to consider that Edison is falling as a top goalkeeper. Me, I think it's a 2-way horse between Alisson and Kepa. I think De Gea's also fallen off.
Yeah.
I think he's
I don't think Kepa's up there.
I think Kepa has a heart, and one thing I love about Kepa is Kepa loves the badge. I feel like he loves the club. You know, he had that little conflict with Sarri last year.
I don't think he's up there. I
think he's the third. But I feel like looking at the difference, who's conceded more goals. You know, Man City only conceded 7, and Liverpool conceded 6. But you know, they haven't had I can't think of his name at the moment. Alisson in goals, but Edison has sort of just been, you know, I think he's been there for the glory. You know what I mean? He hasn't had to do much if we think about it. Last year wouldn't have had to do much, you know.
I think Edison is not your typical goalkeeper. That's why when it comes to trying to make one-on-ones. He's not as reliable as some goalkeepers are. He's still a world-class goalkeeper, but I think he's more known for his footwork, and that's why I think Pep brought him in originally, because City do dominate every game in terms of possession. So he wants a goalkeeper that sort of plays almost a rush, that he grabs the ball and he can ping it long to, the wingers or to the midfielders.
But if you're the Brazilian manager, you're picking Alisson over Ederson.
Yeah, all day, every day. But
I'm
it doesn't take away. But you look at Manchester City, like Pat said, they had 18 shots, 2 on target. If they had an extra 2 on target, they're going into the back of the net.
But they did.
No, I know, but I'm saying you can't say you expect them to score, because at the end of the day, you do expect them to score, but football is that game where you could have all these chances. Patricio can make fucking amazing saves, like he did, like I watched him do.
Yeah.
And then they could have shots that, hit the crossbar, hit the post. They count as off-target shots. Ones that go wide, barely just go wide. But if City got another 2 chances on target, I bet you now those 2 would have been goals, and that whole complexion of the game
it's
changes.
not. But even if it's a 2-2 draw, that's a loss. Man.
Yeah, but how do you know it would have been 2? Manchester City could have in the first half got those 2 extra on target.
But they didn't.
I understand that, but I'm saying
we always mention it, even when we played Liverpool in Man United. We should have scored. It doesn't matter.
no, if you didn't score, you didn't score. That's how
they didn't come perform.
we said it from episode 1. You don't take your chances, you're not going to win games. That's
But
how.
hold on, they didn't even have chances. That's the big point. They fucking had 2 on target. As a team like City, and if I'm a City supporter that is poor and that is disrespectful football, to put on a badge and lose to a team like Wolves,
The closest they got to
at fucking home, lose to a team like Wolves who's not been performing all year.
the closest they got to scoring was David Silva's free kick. Did you see it?
Yeah.
Hit the crossbar. It was a good free kick. It was in the first half, I think, or in the second half. But that was basically about it. And I think City as well, their fans aren't as good as other clubs.
They're not a loyal club. Like, I'm not.
It's complacency.
They
now.
don't.
You've won the league twice. It's the same odd thing. You've won the league twice. Pep Guardiola's your manager. You've spent all this money. You got such good players. It's complacency.
They don't. I think the fans come in sitting down thinking, yeah, we're gonna win this, and when they see the team struggling, they don't know how to react, and they don't know how to, hype their team up or motivate them to try and get over the line.
But at the end of the day, Pat, they're getting paid millions of dollars, and the fans are paying extreme prices to come watch and play.
I know. But the fans makes a huge difference.
Yeah, no, I know. But I'm saying they probably do cheer pretty loud.
Yeah.
We don't.
And at the end of the day, without the fans, this league wouldn't be as good as what it is.
Any league, you could.
Any sport without the fans wouldn't be as good.
Wouldn't be a good sport.
Yeah.
Well, on to the results. We will look it up.
Yeah,
let's
go to the
I'll read
results.
them out for Marcus. I don't know which way he looked at them.
All right, so
But
Marcus, which game
nil
first?
was Brighton and Tottenham. Marcus, I know tipped Brighton. I think I mentioned that.
We both said Tottenham.
I know we both said Tottenham, but I reckon I mentioned that I said Brighton.
You
was
didn't.
gonna
You
win.
both said to me it was a shit call.
I want to watch it back. I really want to watch the podcast back and listen to
You
it.
both said to me it was. You're like, no, that's a stupid call to pick Brighton.
Yeah,
I had the feeling they were going to get smacked midweek, which they did.
look. Let's
And
be
I thought
honest.
they were going to come and beat the fuck.
But let's be honest. No one expected Brighton to smack them 3-0. I was so
well,
should
No, I didn't expect them to smack him.
I was
There's a
so
tip up here,
shocked.
mate, that I got, which I don't know if you know yet, but I picked, mate. So
Yeah, the Newcastle game.
Yeah, I would.
I know.
So we you and me got that wrong, and Marcus got it right. Can I actually look at them so I can just read them out?
Next game.
I'm just reading them out.
I was reading it out, but that's okay.
You're off at Marcus. I'm the. So next game we had the Norwich Aston Villa game. None of us got this right at all, which was I think pretty fair estimate.
Because Norwich
I won.
at Carrow Road, it's a very good side. And this was one of the games that I was most surprised with. I would say the City and Tottenham game, very surprised. But I was more surprised about this scoreline than the Man United game. Because for Aston Villa go to Carrow Road and score 5, that's really, really good. And I was really shocked.
That's surprising.
And it's good for Aston Villa. Good on them. Out of the
What do you
relegation,
mean they lost fucking 5-1?
Aston Villa. I said it's good for
Oh,
Aston Villa.
sorry, I thought you said Norwich.
Yeah, I said it's good for Aston Villa because they're out of the bottom 3 now and they're much better.
Yeah, so none of us got that right, not even close. I predicted a draw, which is something I'm pretty good at. I'm just, but there wasn't a draw at the end
Just
of the
shut up.
day. We have Watford Sheffield United. Marcus was the only one to get this right.
What'd you say?
Did you see what the result? You did. You could have figured.
Oh,
it out.
0-0.
So
I
Marcus
would've
got
said-
that right. You and me got that wrong.
Can I have the thing so I can write down the scores?
I'm doing it. Stats wise,
No, don't change my score because my score was updated with all of them. That's how I was doing it.
I did round 40. I'm adding them on now. You've got 2 right so far. So round 40.
I've written it down at the bottom. Anyway, you do it the way you want to do it.
Okay. Sheffield looked. Apparently, the 3 big chance created from Watford. You know, Watford probably unlucky to get a point. It was probably a terrible game to watch. Let's be real. None of us would have tipped in to watch it because that's not what our game. We have West Ham at Crystal Palace. None of us got this right. I went for a draw. You 2 went for West Ham.
Yeah. And, I mean, they played alright, West Ham as well.
You didn't go for Palace. You went for West Ham.
Yeah, I know. I said they played alright, West
You
Ham.
said you went for Palace.
I said the
Anyway,
Hammers.
just keep going. Stop arguing.
Sure, we can argue whatever we want. This actually looked like a pretty interesting game.
So I haven't even got a fucking tip right yet.
Oh,
No.
shit.
It looked like a late minute, good halftime game to watch onto.
It's a marathon, not a sprint, Pat. Remember that.
You know,
Hey.
80 scored, give him a nice little 87-minute goal.
Yeah, so it was almost a draw, Jack. You almost had that one right.
Almost had it right, but unfortunately I didn't. And props to both teams of playing good football this year, which
Yeah.
we both did.
And they deserve
did
to be
good.
where they are on the table at the
Yeah,
moment.
100%.
They're playing very good considering the circumstances.
And we have, on this one, we have an Arsenal Bournemouth, which we all got correct, as we expected. A David Luiz first goal. Scored 2 goals for
Yeah.
both of the clubs now. For Chelsea and cross-town rivals Arsenal, who he plays for now, which is very
Shit.
good.
His defending was woeful. And Arsenal were very lucky to get away with 3 points there.
I didn't
You,
watch
you
that.
just hate David Luiz.
No, they were very lucky to get away with 3 points because obviously my brother's an Arsenal fan. He had it on the big screen, which was the worst decision of his life. And they were very lucky.
He
to
must
get away
hate
with
watching soccer.
He must have. There's something wrong with him. He must have something wrong with him to watch.
So we
Arsenal.
have City Wolverhampton, we've talked about a lot, and yeah, we already know what happened there. We all got that wrong. One tip that Pat got right and I got wrong was the fact that I went against my Blues this weekend. I went for a draw while you 2 went for a win. You know, we saw how good Chelsea was. Pat's
That's
trying
right.
to get a fist bump, but I don't think he's going to get it. Oh, there he's gone. He got the little win there for Chelsea. That was a very entertaining game.
Yeah, you went against your boys, you
I went
fake
against-
fan,
well,
you
did
plastic
it. I remember
fuck.
when you did it, and I lost it at you.
You plastic fuck. Yeah, I did it to get a point.
I just thought, you know, they would have a draw, and they unfortunately
I didn't get a point that round.
produced a really good game. You didn't.
Even if I know my team's going to lose, I'm still going to tip him, though. I'm still going to back him.
Yeah,
I backed them for a draw. I didn't back them to lose. I just backed them
that's
to
just
win.
poor, mate.
And Newcastle, Manchester United. Someone I take this really proudly, and I said I tipped Newcastle.
I only got one tip right.
No, you got 2.
Wow.
At same.
And it was Liverpool and Chelsea, the most obvious
no,
one.
Arsenal and Chelsea.
And Liverpool.
Oh, so you got
Did you
3
miss the
right.
Liverpool game?
I
Where?
haven't even said the Liverpool game.
Oh, you.
Oh.
f-
I
Did
thought
I?
Man United was after the Liverpool game.
I don't know. I must have just missed
Me and
it.
I was well after the Liverpool game.
I just missed it by accident anyway. I'm the only one that got this tip right because I am the greatest at picking out a roughie. I really wish when I want to start actually putting my tips on and just betting. Like straight up, like stick like $50 in, $10 on each team. I know that's not even enough teams. But I reckon I'll win. Stick them in a multi. Bada bing, bada boom.
Gamble responsibly.
Always.
That's right.
Yeah, Liverpool Leicester one we didn't talk about much at all besides Pat's little blunder. I went for a draw, which I was, you know, pretty fucking close to getting.
Yeah, you were very
That's
close,
the
to be
fucking
honest.
usual. I get dicked by fucking Milner. And,
but Jimmy.
Um,
Jimmy.
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 I'm sorry, but Robertson's got the most punchable fucking face in the
Yeah, well,
game.
you do as well, mate. All right.
Oh, wow. Okay.
that's quite harsh.
Wow.
I'll back my boy up over you.
Oh, he's your boy. You met
Yeah,
him before? Fuck
he's my
off,
boy.
mate. He fucking looked
You
the
leave my
other
boy
way.
alone.
He would look the other way if he saw you.
No, but I appreciate what happened? I wasn't a big fan of that game, but I didn't watch much. Penalty was a penalty, I think.
I thought it was a penalty
Yeah,
as
of
well.
course you did.
And there was
I
another.
thought I even asked you. I was gonna get the same fucking answer.
There was another there was another decision over the weekend which wasn't a penalty,
Let's do these ones
which
next.
wasn't a penalty, and I thought it was a penalty. I think it was the West Ham game.
I'm not too sure, Pat.
I can't remember which game it was, but I was watching the highlights, and it was I thought, you know, when you get those fouls where if it's outside the box, the referee's going to call a free kick.
Yeah.
If a referee's going to call a free kick outside the box, and the same thing happens inside the box, it should be a penalty.
Yeah, I guess you're right, Pat. You just talk a lot of shit.
Yeah,
But I just
don't
can't
know
remember which one.
you're
Shut
talking
up.
So we're not going to be filming next week because the international break. You can do it, Marcus.
Wait, is that all the
Really
tips?
wanna type it in.
about. No, because I thought you've done it. Why the fuck you taking 10 years? You type like my
I'm
dad.
typing in this results for next week.
What?
You fucking
Wait,
idiot.
Are we
so
going to do them now?
I think so. We're not going to be here next week. We might as well.
yeah. Wait, what's
Oh,
the
look now.
score?
I was
Yeah,
just gonna-
that's
I
true.
thought we'd just message each other right
No, we might as well do
Oh,
it
you're
now.
doing
And give
it
us
now.
a
Yeah, but just
I
wait.
don't know, 'cause
Wait.
I don't know what injuries are going to happen. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, you're just going to take a punt. It's punting.
That's
isn't
right,
it?
mate. And what's the score? How many did I get right this weekend? And
so
you, Jack?
you got 3, which puts you on 32. Mm-hmm. Jack got 2, which puts him on 37.
I'm so far behind.
I got 5, which puts me on 43.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so Mark's got a bit lucky. So
This cunt's
Oh,
pulling
lucky.
away.
I'm fucking a
He's
sick
pulling
cunt,
away.
mate.
Oh, jeez, relax, because you're not. So if we want to talk about next week's results, because we won't be here because international break.
Yeah.
There's no reason.
There's no club football on at all.
We watch the A-League. A-League starts on Friday.
No
The
way.
A-League podcast.
That's big.
Can't wait to see Alessandro Diamanti play
no,
for
we
Western
could-
United.
Potentially, if people wanted, but we don't. No one fucking wants anything because we don't even know who listens to the podcast. And if you do listen to the podcast, we do really appreciate it. But no, we could do a midweek AFL trade period. Talk about the AFL. If people want, it's an idea. Marcus crossing his head because he's like, I'm a fucking sick cunt and I can't do anything on Tuesdays. Anyway, we don't
Never
talk
said
about it.
that,
Maybe me and Pat might do our own duo.
I'll do
There's
it
podcast.
actually
as
been a
well,
lot of
but-
trades.
Yeah,
Really
like it's
interesting
going to be an
trades.
interesting trade period, especially what happens with the Crows. So much
I
topic.
didn't say I wouldn't do it.
Anyway,
but
so
it's
me and
okay.
Pat might maybe on
Okay.
next
Yeah.
Tuesday bring up a podcast and start the Jack and Pat podcast.
Yeah.
I don't know about more.
Austin can come on.
Listen, come on.
Yeah, you
You
can
know, we
yeah,
bring
see what you're doing
Anton.
as well, you fat fucks, huh?
What'd you say?
Kick
Why do you have
me
to
out.
bring that up
No,
for?
well, you
Why
fucking
do you call
just gonna
us
Why
kick
do you
me
bring
out.
that up, huh?
You're just
Huh?
gonna kick me out.
Your
for no
attitude's been
reason.
poor. We're just talking.
Anyway, on to 2 weeks
could-
away.
could get
Jack,
Anton
read
on
out the
there.
games.
No, we have Everton at West Ham and Goodison Park. Look, this is a game which provides a lot of bullshit. Anything could happen. This is one of them games where I'm not sure at all.
Yeah, same.
Like even when it was game week and the game was tomorrow, I have no idea. Everton could. You got to touch my blood, and I'm gonna go for a West Ham win. I don't know about you guys, but you say your own decisions. But I feel like West Ham is a team to beat. Everton's not a team to beat. But at home, yeah.
It just annoys me how they're playing home Everton because it makes me want to pick them.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at their last 3 games. 1-0 lost against Burnley. 3-1 lost against City, and
they
a
lost
2-0 loss
2-0 at
against
home
Sheffield.
Sheffield.
I can see.
And then even before that, 3-1 loss against Bournemouth.
and 2-0 to Aston Villa.
Jack still cut about it.
All right, look, I'm gonna go with a draw.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, so am I. Yep. Jack.
We have.
I
Bournemouth
swear to God, if Everton win, I'm gonna lose my shit.
Did you say West Ham?
We have Bournemouth, Norwich City at Gold Sand Stadium.
Yeah, he said West Ham.
Okay.
So you and me a
oh,
draw and
shit.
him West Ham.
Yeah.
Yes, we have Bournemouth, Norwich City. Bournemouth is at home. I'm gonna go easy, pretty easy. Should be a Bournemouth win here. They should
Yeah.
fire up
maybe
after the
Bournemouth.
1-0 win. They probably should have got a point.
Yeah, I'll go Bournemouth as well.
We have a good game. This would actually be a very pretty interesting game next week. Aston Villa and Brighton, 2 teams have come off pretty big wins.
I'm gonna go
That's a hard
Where
one.
at?
at
at
Villa
Villa
Park.
I'm
I'm gonna go
for
with
a draw.
Brighton.
Go for a draw.
I'd probably go for a draw, just because of the fact that I don't want Marcus to have a little cheap point here if he gets it. I'd rather Pat get it, and I think that'd probably be a draw. Chelsea, Newcastle at Stamford Bridge.
Chelsea.
I think everyone. See, this is a game Newcastle could also slip up and get a point.
Nah, it's at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea.
Yeah,
will
but
win that.
I'm looking at it. Newcastle could really park the bus and get a little draw here
It's one of
because
them
we don't
games.
finish. Like, I'm really looking at that because knowing us, we could do that.
This is probably a game that
And they just beat Me United, so who the?
but they could be buzzing on fear and want to keep going. I'm gonna go for Chelsea because
I'm gonna
yeah,
go
I'm
Chelsea.
going with my team, but I'm just I don't know.
we have Leicester and Burnley, which could be a good game at the King Power Stadium.
Leicester.
I'm gonna go Leicester, but Burnley
Yeah,
has
Leicester.
has an opportunity for a draw. In fact, no, I'll go Leicester.
I swear to God. All right, this next game, Tottenham Watford. I'm tipping Tottenham. They better fucking win this time.
Is there a stadium called Tottenham Hotspur Stadium?
Yeah.
What the fuck should you know?
So you're going with Tottenham, Pat?
Yeah.
See, this is one. Watford had a couple good chances on the weekend. Can they batter what's the word for it?
Watford
Can they
haven't
batter a depressed Tottenham and come up with a point? I'm not sure.
Watford haven't won a game in a while.
Yeah, but neither have Tottenham.
In a very long time. Yeah.
Nah, I'm gonna go with Tottenham.
I'm gonna go Tottenham.
For Tottenham. I think
They have to win.
go for Tottenham.
They have to win.
Then we have.
Wolves, Southampton at Wolves.
That's not a bad game. I think Wolves are on the good form. I can see Traore scoring again.
I think Wolves as
I
well.
think Wolves will
Yeah, I
win.
think Wolves will win that. I think they have to really.
This one's a big one as well. I think City gonna win, but
City, Crystal Palace, and Crystal Palace home.
you know what it is? City, they don't lose 2 games in a row.
Who knows? Could be a change of fucking thing.
Although you do remember Crystal Palace, they probably have that confidence from last year of them beating them.
I'm gonna go City. I think Pep
I'm gonna go City as
will
well.
get the week off. His players, most.
Yeah, I'm
people will
going
play.
City as well, Marcus.
Manchester United, Liverpool at Old Trafford, as we mentioned.
Now I'm gonna say
I'm gonna go
Liverpool because I'm
City
gonna
as
say like I said I'm backing my team all the way, but I guarantee this will be a draw.
I can see Liverpool winning like fucking 4-0.
Nah, it'll be a draw. Trust me, it'll be a draw.
I'm going Liverpool. And then
Old Trafford.
At
Not me, United.
and then Sheffield.
Don't know
I
why.
can genuinely see.
I can see Sheffield upsetting Arsenal.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Sheffield win.
I'm going for a draw then because
I'm going for Arsenal. As much as I hate them, I think, like I said, those 1-0 wins are fucking too good for them.
I'm going to go for a Sheffield. A little upset, a little cheeky goal. Yeah, so that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's really
Football-wise.
it. Is there anything else to talk about?
No, I think we had
what
a
else
pretty in-depth
happened?
conversation. I'm not sure
Nah, I
how
think
long
we've
the
had a-
podcast is, but, we can talk about football, but there's not really much interesting going on
Nah.
with the trade period just
I'm just trying
yet.
to think what else has happened in the football world. In the
Um,
other
well,
leagues, has
Juventus-
anything happened in the other leagues?
Juventus bet Inter Milan.
Yeah, Juventus beat Inter
Barca,
in a game which they played really well.
Bayern,
Oh, that would have been that's a huge game.
Yeah.
Bayern lost to someone after smacking
Bayern lost to Hoffenheim 2-1 at home. Dortmund blew a 2-goal lead again.
Dortmund did another own goal. In the Italian league.
Barca and Real Madrid won. Hazard scored for Real.
Yeah, his first goal.
Yeah, so
Do you think Hazard will be? I'm not gonna say as good as what he was at Chelsea because he won't be. I guarantee he won't be. But do you reckon he'll be a bit of a flop this year?
Yeah, 100%. He really is, in my opinion. He should have stayed at Chelsea. I know he wanted to do his dream thing, but I'm just gonna say it now.
His career was so much better at Chelsea. I
Like,
thought.
Nah, we're better off without him,
imagine
man.
him, Mason,
You are better off
We're
without him.
better
though.
off without
Could
him.
you imagine the scenes? Him and Mason Mount on the wing is blowing. It'd be a scene.
Yeah, but then
but
you
it'd
bring
be
in
we'd be relying on Hazard,
Yeah.
which wouldn't have happened. But unfortunately, it's worked for the better. We're probably a better team than
Yeah,
Real
I'm
Madrid.
without
sorry,
him.
but Hudson-Odoi looks so good at the moment.
Everyone looks good. Everyone in that Chelsea team, besides potentially Zuma, looks good.
Yeah.
I love Marcus. I have just a passion for Marcus Alonso. I think he's one of the best attacking defensive players in the league.
He's fucking shit.
Attacking wise, I said not defensively. Yeah,
Fucking shit.
I-
Well, he
Oh,
plays
and
left
also
back, he's shit.
the Newcastle game on his debut, the
Yeah.
kid, he was a Newcastle supporter. He was brought up in the youth
Oh,
of
the rank,
Newcastle.
Long-
Longstaff,
Longstaff.
Matty
Yeah.
Longstaff, eh?
And he
Brother
scored.
Short Longstaff in the team as well.
And did you
He's got
see
a good
that?
goal.
Did you see that goal?
You
Yeah,
love
his
to
goal was
see.
nice. Yeah, good.
Banger of a goal,
You
clean.
love to see
The
it.
Hay couldn't
You
get
do.
the end away.
Just one more thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Madison, will he leave this year? At the end, for
Yeah, I
next
could
year?
see
Do you
him
reckon
at-
he'll
I could see
stay?
him at Chelsea. I feel like he's a player.
Do you
at Chelsea.
reckon? Do you reckon Leicester will be able to hold on to some of these players that they've got at the moment?
Yeah, I feel
Like
like-
Ricardo Pereira, James Madison,
Pereira
these
will
players
stay,
that
Jay
are.
Madison will go.
I don't know who wants Madison though.
Me
He's a
neither.
good player, man.
Oh, we see something going on. Yeah.
He's a good player.
No, I'm not saying he's not. I'm just
Yeah.
saying. No, I think they should all stay. But that's probably another topic for about podcasts. Probably like 68 or like 69,
Yeah.
something like that in the future. But
You had to pick 69.
I know.
you
So it
dirty
was roughly
fucker.
like 30 games, and then there's like a bit of a 30-game break.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean. No,
Yeah.
what I
And
was kinda
I
thinking.
think that's roughly about right.
Yeah, I think basically that's it this weekend.
Yeah. Maybe podcast next week if you're thinking about football. Me and Pat might ping one up.
Yeah,
Thanks,
maybe.
guys.
I don't know about Marcus. We might invite him on the podcast.
Thanks, guys.
Depends if he-
Oh, and also the exhibitions have started. Exhibition games for NBA
Pre-season.
NBA teams.
Just call it fucking pre-season.
Well,
Yeah, it's called
they call it
preseason.
No, they
exhibition.
call it preseason. It's just
You'd be having a hard on because Zion fucking played.
Yeah, he had an alright game. What's his name had a really good game though.
He had an alright game. Gets off the podcast. Oh fuck, that Zion looks good.
Brandon Ingram had a good game. For the New Orleans.
Yeah, one thing. I not talk about basketball, but NBL. For people that live in Adelaide, if you listen to watch basketball, you probably know who Lonzo is, who recently got traded to the New Orleans Pelicans a couple months back. His brother is playing for the Illawarra Hawks, and if you don't know that, you're pretty fucking stupid. Illawarra is a small town in Sydney, New South Wales. He played really good on the weekend, had about like 12 points, 5 rebounds, like 5 assists, like nearly a triple-double.
And we're gonna go on that. We're gonna go to the game when he comes and plays
I'll
here.
probably get tickets, my free tickets back.
Yeah, but
Sorry, mate.
Marcus and I will get our tickets and we'll
Yeah.
meet you.
Maybe.
No, we're not gonna meet him. We'll sit by ourselves and we'll enjoy it.
And he's
without
gonna.
him.
What is he gonna be with the
Because-
player? He's gonna be sitting on the
Yeah,
bench with
because
the
he'll
players.
show up in a suit. He'll fucking think he's top shit. This bloke.
Okay,
Oh
look,
fuck! I've got mates in the 36s.
Cool, and if you had mates playing for the Crows, you'd go and it would set up. So what's the difference? Exactly, be
If I
quiet.
had mates playing for the Crows, they'd probably be out of the club by now.
What?
If I had mates playing for the Crows, they'd probably be out of the club the way the
Because
club's
they're
going.
probably fucking shit players. Anyway, off Marcus's topic then. I've urged you to watch the NBL. RJ Hampton, they miss another week because they're in the States playing basketball, but Marcus is giving a real grim face on. He's been a bit of a smart ass today. You know,
Do you have to just do this? Let's go. Hurry up.
I just want to tell people to watch the fucking NBL. It's my podcast. You know, I'm gonna get cut short here.
We're at his house as well.
Oh yeah, I reckon.
Yeah.
I fucking reckon for the whole
Yeah.
fucking 17 episodes you've been.
But yeah, we'll start wrapping it up.
Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up because Marcus is having a bit of a cry. Next week, no football.
Yeah, next week we'll do no football because of the international break, so
this-
there'll be no champions, no club games.
If you want to do anything this weekend, go out because no football on next week. Stay home and watch the EPL.
Yeah.
Back end podcast on Twitter. Yeah, Spotify. You already listening to us on?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Twitter,
don't-
yeah,
just
whatever,
Twitter.
whatever. Just
We might be
We
on
don't give a
type it
fuck
in on your
anymore.
keyboard and
We
you'll
don't
find
give a
us
fuck
somewhere.
Just type in, yeah.
And you'll find us somewhere.
Oh, fuck.
All right, well,
See you in 2 weeks.
yeah, see you later.
Peace.
Yeah.